to L.A., where it's warmer and calmer. NFC West, it was all Kyler in this one. Threw for 268 yards, 2 touchdowns. No big discussion like in that last game. He added 39 more yards on the ground as well. You couldn't ask for more out of Kyler yesterday. Arizona wins 37-20. Now the only remaining unbeaten team in the NFC. Who saw that coming? Nick's been down on Cliff Kingsbury's team. Wilds, what about you? You starting to believe in the 4-0 Cardinals after their blowout win over what we thought was a pretty good Rams team?
Hey, you know we got to fire up that Kyler MVP full screen again, Jenna. Kyler's playing great. I don't know what you do. If you leave him in the pocket, he'll eat you up through the air. If you chase him out of the pocket, he's actually more dangerous. So you're kind of stuck if you do, stuck if you don't. Kyler's playing great, and here's the thing, Broussard. I've mentioned it before. This was a Rams letdown game. They beat the Bucs, and then they had a letdown game. Meanwhile, the Cowboys, when they lost to the Bucs, they rattled off 3 in a row, just like the Patriots about to rattle off 3 in a row. So there you go. It's a letdown game, and I believe in Kyler.
Yeah, I'm with you on the letdown game, Wilds. And that's why I certainly believe in Kyler. The Cardinals, I'm a tad hesitant, just a tad. I want to see a little bit more before I go all in on the Cardinals are now a legitimate contender. But I am all in on Kyler Murray. He is the MVP right now. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And as you said, what he did against what we think is the best defense in football or thought before the game was incredible. I never thought he'd do it. And it shows his maturation because he had thrown 7 interceptions, had a terrible passer rating against the Rams previously. And yesterday, he just toyed with them through the air, on the ground, whatever he wanted to do. They got the weapons, DeAndre Hopkins and others, to help him out. That defense has steadily improved every year under Cliff Kingsbury, so I got to give him credit for that. So I do believe, look, Kyler, if he doesn't get hurt, and last year he was playing lights out until he injured his shoulder in week 11, but he is, in his last 13 healthy games, they are 10-3, and he's thrown more touchdowns than any quarterback not named Aaron Rodgers. So I'm all in on Kyler, Nick, and I'm getting there. I'm maybe a week away, a week and a half away from going all in on the Cardinals.
Week and a half. Yeah, so my issues with their head coach are well documented, but you've got to give the team credit for what it's done. They're not only 4-0, they've scored at least 30 points in all 4 games this year. And I don't know that I buy this letdown game stuff as far as justifying it from the Rams. That's typically when you're playing a bad team. They're playing an undefeated team at home in the division. It's arguably one of their very biggest, inarguably actually, one of their biggest leverage games of the season. Your home game against your best divisional opponents. And the Cardinals walked all over them on both sides of the ball. Matt Stafford didn't play well, which I'm sure is the fault of the greater Detroit metropolitan area. Not at all Matt Stafford's fault, because we know those are the rules. And the Cardinals were excellent in all 3 phases of the game. So yes, this is, sometimes we overreact to things. I want to make sure not to underreact to this game, because this was a statement win by the Arizona Cardinals, and I know everyone expects me to say Mahomes is the MVP. Through 4 weeks, Kyler's absolutely the MVP. He has played sensational football, and maybe I overrated how close they played the Vikings in negatively assessing them. They've been excellent. They have 3 blowout victories, the lucky win against the Vikings. I have to give the Cardinals a ton of credit for going to LA and beating that Rams team in a game that was not close after halftime, Jim.
Easily. Drawing a blank. Ravens, Broncos. Oh, we love this story in our morning meeting today. Bit of a weird ending to this one. With the game in hand, so Baltimore opts to rush for 5 yards on the final play instead of taking a knee. This in an effort to tie an NFL record with at least 100 rushing yards for the team. The Broncos were reportedly livid with how it ended. Here's how John Harbaugh explained it.
You know, that's one of those things that's meaningful, you know, and it's one of those things that's, I think as a head coach, you got to be mindful of your team and your players and your coaches and what it means to them. It's a very, very tough record to accomplish, and it's a long-term record. So I'm not going to say it's more important than winning the game for sure, and it's certainly not. But as a head coach, I think you do that for your players and you do that for your coaches, and it's something that they'll have for the rest of their lives.
I don't know what that say. I don't know what he was thinking. I'm like, we're going to take a knee right here? They're like, nah, we're going to go for it. I'm like, so he pretty much got the game still. You know, Double-A caught that pick in the back of the end zone. Congratulations to him, but I don't know what coach was thinking.
You appreciate it, though? You wanted to get the record, keep the record?
I'm happy we got the dub. I'm not going to lie. I didn't really care about the record. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about winning the game.
This is insane.
So Harbaugh's like, I did it for the players. Lamar's like, wait, what did we do? I don't even know that there was a record. Ravens tied the record for 100-yard rushing game set by the 1970s Pittsburgh Steelers. Long time standing, this one. So Broussard, Harbaugh opting for the rushing record over taking a knee was blank.
It's fine by me. Fine by me, Jenna. Look, Lamar Jackson was just on the screen next to Franco Harris, the Hall of Famer. That wouldn't have been the case had Harbaugh not gone for it. Now, look, all the killjoys, the spoil sports, the prigs out there, they'll say, oh, what bad sportsmanship. How could you do that? No. A football game is 60 minutes. And anything you do within the rules in that 60 minutes is fine. I hate it when Division I college programs or professional athletes complain, oh, they scored, the game was over. Why did they score? Why did they do this? Why did they do that? You're being paid to play football. If you don't like it, Denver, you're all upset reportedly, then stop them. That's what you do. So I am fine with it, and I'm with Harbaugh. That is a record that Lamar Jackson gets criticized for his supposed lack of passing ability, even though he's been throwing it pretty well this year. This is a testament to his greatness as a runner. So when you can say, not just him, but the running game in general, you can say you were the architect of one of the greatest running games ever, and there's proof. I'm here for that. So John Harbaugh, good job. Way to stand up for your players. Even if Lamar didn't understand it at the moment, Wilds, I like it. It was good.
Okay. All right. Let's just assume Broussard is right. Then John Harbaugh should get out there and say, I wanted the record. Lamar, he said, oh, it means a lot to our players. No, it didn't. Lamar literally said it didn't mean a lot. And Broussard, my other issue is this. Victory formation is an agreed upon formation. Hey, we're in victory formation, okay? The defense like, yeah, okay. Greg Schiano a few years ago, remember, he tried to jump the line and it was a national scandal. So he was like, hey, stop him. Like, all right, we'll blitz you, I guess, even though the game is over. I thought it was a weak move. I thought it was a selfish move from Harbaugh to say oh, our players wanted it, and then Lamar said he didn't even know what was happening. I thought, never mind, and Nick, Grandma Wild's always worried about Lamar getting injured. So I hate to bring that up, but Grandma Wild's in her cardigan. I get nervous to put Lamar in unnecessary danger, which that was.
Obviously, if someone would have gotten hurt, it would have been a disaster, but no one got hurt. And so the only repercussions are this. It's disrespectful to the Broncos. And this, to me, is something the Ravens absolutely unequivocally would not have done against the Chiefs, against the Browns, against the Bills, against the Chargers, against any team they thought they might have to face again. But they know what we know, which is the Broncos were a fraudulent 3-0. The Broncos are likely not going to make the playoffs, and that the Broncos are not going to see Baltimore again for another year. So if they thought at all we might be facing this team in the postseason, I don't think he does it. I think he does it like it's Denver. It's Vic Fangio, Drew Lock, and Teddy Bridgewater. Not worried about hurting their feelings. We don't see him at Christmas. We're not going to see him in the playoffs. So because of that, I think it was actually a bigger indictment on the Broncos as a whole, because I don't think there's any chance the Ravens do this against a team they might